Hi, Lev. It's so great to
Hello.
see you. How are you today?
I am good. Today is a very important day for me. I didn't share this before we press record, but today is my 1 year anniversary.
Ooh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Wow, good news. Life is better as a married
Yes.
person.
Yes. Yes. She puts up with me.
That's excellent. Finding someone who put up with you is one of the keys to a happy life, I think.
Yes.
Very
Yes.
good. Well, happy anniversary. So,
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, I'm excited too about what you're doing in your work life. And I'm sure
Thank
that
you.
that contributes to the happiness in your household, when work
Yes.
goes well. And
Yes.
you are a specialist in ads for business owners. And so that's always been a little bit of a mystery to me. And, I was laughing with you when we first chatted about scheduling this. I was
Mhm.
remembering the new Bob Dylan movie. And so it's called A Complete Unknown. And there was a part in it where Bob Dylan made the change from just doing acoustic guitar and folk music to this newfangled electric guitar with amplifiers and so on. And he made this change at a folk festival in New York State that had been, popularized over 5 years or 6 years. And when he started bringing out electronic equipment on the stage, the thousands of people in the audience started throwing things at him. We don't want that electric music. Get that amp off the stage. We're folk music people. And he plugged in the guitar and he just took, the insults. And then he came to the microphone and said, "You people don't know what you want." And they were stunned in silence. And then he started the electric guitar with his new song, "The Times They Are a Changin'." He was like 7 words in, they were all on their feet. They loved the new music, but they were sure they knew better. They wanted it to stay the same. They came there because that's what they like. And it turns out his better idea really was a better idea. So I know you run into that with the
Yes.
business leaders that you work with. They think they know the ads they like, or they know the ads they respond to, but you're in a business like a major athlete, how I think of it.
Mhm.
We know how many free throws Michael Jordan made because they kept track and they published the number. We know a baseball player's on base percentage because they keep track. The statistics are out there for everybody to see. And in advertising, it's the same. Someone
Yes.
gives you $5,000 to run ads, and then we find out, did it move the needle?
Mhm.
What is that
Mhm.
like for you to be in a business where you get a report card every month about how you did?
I love it. And sometimes it can be a challenge. It's a healthy challenge because, like you said, the data, the numbers don't lie. The numbers show up. You can try to manipulate them. You can try to, story tell with them and why you didn't, hit the right number of free throws to win the game. And that's okay. That happens.
Mhm.
However, that should be the exception, not the norm.
Sure.
And in my business, everything is data driven, results driven. So you can say how great you are, you can say how great you've done. It takes the emotion out of it.
Yes.
So for business owners, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong being emotional, but we have to know when to apply emotion and when to apply a more logical, data driven approach. So sometimes when I work with clients, as I have one, they're like, "Hey, I like this type of ad. I want to run it." Well, okay, that's great, but we don't know if that's going to work for you,
Mhm, mhm,
right? It goes
mhm,
back to you don't know what you don't like. Let me start
mhm.
playing my guitar, my electric guitar. So it's really, for me, it's a gift and a curse, right? It's a
Mhm,
gift
mhm,
because as long as I'm putting up numbers,
mhm,
I can say, "Hey, this is what works. This is what we're doing, or what we should do. Are you
mhm,
okay with that?"
mhm,
But at the same time, you can see the numbers, and a business owner cannot understand those numbers
mhm, mhm,
and think they know and say,
mhm,
"No, this is this." Like, no. So again, it's a gift and a curse. I love it.
mhm,
Even with Michael Jordan, who's better, him or LeBron James?
mhm,
Right? Michael Jordan never lost in the finals.
mhm.
LeBron James has over 50,000 points. No one is even close. Who's better? It just all depends. But they're both great. That's the
Well,
caveat.
I think, someone with more than 7 years experience in running ads, as a business owner, I don't have anything like that kind of track record. I throw nickels against the wall now and then and see what happens. So,
Hmm.
but you can really help them have the vision to see This is what your spend was for the last 90 days. And this
Yes.
is the inventory that got sold, or these are the new, leads that it generated, whatever kind of
Yes.
advertising you're doing. And we don't understand as business owners all the nuance.
Mhm.
Okay, people, they're doing the free download, but none of them are calling for appointments. Well,
Mhm.
okay, there's a problem. Whatever your marketing is, it's getting people to use the free download, but you're not in business to offer free downloads. You're in business to offer your service. And they
Yes.
have to convert from reading your free download to reaching out for a consultation or whatever it looks like. So if you're not moving product off the shelf or you're not booking paid appointments, your advertising is not working. But you get
Yes.
to deliver that news. How is that for you to talk
I actually love it. I
to?
love it because, my as a young kid, my siblings would say I had a gift of agitating and being annoying. And now as an adult, I get to use that same effort and energy under a professional umbrella and say, listen, this is not working, and here's why.
Mhm,
Here's how to fix it. Do
mhm,
you want to proceed? So
mhm,
I'm very thankful for the ability to be able to diagnose where the problems are in the
mhm,
advertising, or what we call the funnel. But when having that conversation with a business owner, I have to be very very cautious, because they're emotional. They have their ideas, they know what they want, and they don't want to hear that, hey, it didn't work because of X, Y, and Z. So
mhm,
what I've learned to do is really look at how to word things to where it's easy to digest. As an
mhm,
example, if I do a report for a client at the end of the month, which I'm going to be doing a couple of those here in
mhm.
the next couple of days, is that you have wins, areas of opportunity, action plan, and expectations.
Mhm, mhm,
Because it's almost a compliment sandwich, right? Where you
mhm,
compliment, but give them the real meat, and they compliment again. You
mhm,
have to play to the psychology and to the emotion. So I love to say, hey, here's what actually worked, but
mhm,
here's an area where we can get better. And if we take this action, we can expect this. And I think most business owners can respect that approach, instead of saying, hey, this didn't work and this is why it didn't work, and you need to do something, or castigating the blame on them. It's
Sure.
saying, hey, this didn't work. It wasn't your fault. This is how we can fix it. And this is
Mhm,
how we move forward. So I think people are more result driven, or like to be pushed forward, than to sit in the mud of problem. Like, here's the problem. Like, okay, we got it. No one's moving past your free download. Let's look at the free download. Did you give them too much information? Did you give them
mhm,
not enough information?
mhm,
Did you put something in that free download to show that, hey, I know what I'm talking about, but there's a bigger problem at play than what you're getting solved in this free download, if that makes sense. We always want to help people understand that there's a gap. There's a gap. So, all right, we solve part of it with the free download, but there's so much more that we want to do to address the real problem, so you can be not only profitable, but grow a business that hire people. I was just talking to a group of entrepreneurs, and I said at the end of the call, I do what I do. My selfish. I'm talking. This is me being so selfish. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the revenue. It's not
mhm,
about the profit. I truly believe that small business moves our country forward. And if a small business can go from spending little to nothing on advertising
mhm.
over time and grow, and now they have 4 or 5 employees, you would see a black man blushing and a black man crying,
There we go.
because I want to see. I know what it's like. I had a mother who was a
Mhm,
single mom and had to go to work every single day just to provide. My mom worked overtime.
mhm,
She worked for General Motors for 30 years. I
mhm,
saw the toll it took on her, and I'm
mhm,
wondering, like, what would it look like as entrepreneurs and business owners if we can hire a single mom with 3 kids, and not only make her life good, but
mhm,
make the children like, oh my God, I love my mom's job.
mhm.
And I love General Mills. Let me not
No, no,
so
no. Yeah, no, it's fine.
they put food on the table, right? But that's selfishly my aim and my goal. So when I look at a problem, I have to communicate it to that business owner. Say, hey, let's fix this and move forward, because I want you to hire 3 more people. I want you to impact the economy by impacting a household, and that's
Mhm.
my selfish ambition.
Well, I love that. We talked early on about how you actually empower business owners.
Yes.
And, primarily you're working with people that, $3,000 to $5,000 or more in advertising spend,
Mhm.
but some of them got started with, $1,000 or
Yes.
$1,500. So sometimes there's a kind of a
Hmm.
trajectory, and but you have to provide insight to empower a business owner in a couple of areas. One,
Yes.
of course, is what does their audience really look like?
Hmm.
They think their audience is males, 25 to 45, and you go look and Facebook is all 60-year-olds or whatever it looks like.
Yes.
You have to go actually do the metrics and say, let me show you what your audience really looks like. And
Hmm.
they may get some surprises because they haven't had a chance to check that ever or in 5 years. And so you have to market to their real audience, and you have to do it with something that converts for those people. And they may not be operating in their mind about that. The other
Exactly.
way that you empower them is you ask them business questions that they don't always know the answer to. So, you might say, well, how did you decide on that advertising spend in the past? And what kind of yield did it give you? And if they were working for an agency or
Hmm.
working with their brother-in-law who's pretty good at
Hmm.
Facebook ads or whatever it looks like, they may not know the answer. My spend gave me this return on investment. They can't quote
Hmm.
the ROI. And
Yes.
you make sure that by their time they're done beginning their engagement with you, they can. At the
Yes.
end of the month in my report card, I'll tell you your ROI, and now you've empowered them.
Yes.
So it's more than just this is a good ad for you or not. There's more to it when you're running a
For
business.
sure. Yeah, I think it's really important to, and again, this happens more than you think, where even clients I've worked with. So I have a particular client who's coming back, and they're seasonal, so they come back every spring, right?
Mhm.
So they come back in the spring, we're revving up, and we just launched an ad, and I shared with her. I said, "Hey, this ad is beautiful. It looks really, really cool. It's just not converting." And here's a point, and let me just educate the audience here for a quick moment. There's what we call on platform metrics. Okay. Those are the metrics that Facebook, as an example, gives us on how your ad performed on their platform.
Mhm.
That doesn't mean how the ad performed once that person clicked on the ad and
Mhm.
got to your website. That's
Mhm.
off platform metrics. On platform metrics, as an example, because I want to just take a couple moments to kind of educate so people
Mhm.
can get an idea of how I help
Mhm.
with their business. So I
Mhm.
really look at a couple metrics: cost per click,
Mhm.
cost per thousand people reach, or CPM. So
Mhm.
the cost, your click through rate, or the cost per click through rate. Then
Mhm.
we're going to look at your return on investment, which is in the ad world we call it ROAS, return on ad spend. And then
Mhm.
I'm looking at results. How much did we spend? So just not a lot of metrics I need to know to determine, is this moving the boat forward? Or are we dropping our anchor, picking it up, dropping our anchor, picking it up,
Mhm.
and wondering why we're not next to the
Mhm.
cruise line that left when we left? So with
Mhm.
this particular client, I sent her a message saying, hey, all your on platform metrics are hitting the benchmark or higher. So the ad is doing well on the platform, it's just not converting. It's just not converting. So
Mhm.
what we need to do quickly as possible is shoot a video or have a piece of content that's similar to what you have going now, but
Mhm.
let's add a little bit more, take a little bit from here so that
Mhm.
people have be compelled to click and buy the ticket. So
Mhm.
now this fellow says, hey, I'll have it to you in a couple of days. I just, even before we jumped on, another person, like, hey, I want to get rid of some inventory. Hey, you know the type of videos that work? Do
Mhm.
that with this, and let's run it, and let's get
Mhm.
some good on platform metrics first, but let's start converting as well. And you can do that within 24 to 48 hours running Facebook ads.
It's so compelling to see a results-driven approach because
Yes.
as a business owner, I don't want to set my ad dollars on fire. I feel
Yeah.
so wasted money. And,
Hmm.
it's like having an employee call in sick for 3 weeks. It's like,
Yes.
still meeting your paycheck, you're not doing any work. So you start to feel it after a while. And
Hmm.
so if you're doing spend and for whatever reason the spend is not yielding your expected results, and it could be a simple fix that you try as you tweak the ad and tweak the ad, why is it not converting? Maybe the
Hmm.
jump to the website is too much. They need to jump to something else. They
Hmm.
need to have some kind of a download or sign up for a free gift or what have you,
Yes.
enter a contest, answer a poll question or a quiz, and then they go to the website or something. So, I
Hmm.
mean,
Hmm.
maybe there's a piece in the middle that you need to drop in and go, okay, now that's working.
Yeah.
But you're running an ad clinic then in the business about
Yes.
their inventory or what they're selling with their customers. And
Yes.
so, you can watch, tutorials, you can watch YouTube channels, but they're not in your business. You are.
Exactly. 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 I think, and I tell people this all the time, like, I love YouTube University. It is amazing. But there's a level of that someone who's going to help your business move the needle where YouTube University is not going to always work. It may help you with a technical thing, but
Mhm.
it's not going to help you with your business. And
Mhm.
again, I get clients coming back say, hey, I had a conversation with someone probably December or January, and they were listening to an online guru tell them that you should be working in and on your business and you need to hire out all these people to do these tasks so you can focus on other things in the business. That sounds really, really good. But let me tell you why that is extremely dangerous. So, again, we're watching YouTube. Nothing wrong with YouTube.
Mhm.
Please, there's nothing wrong with YouTube, but let's slow down because we
Mhm.
got to go slow in order to
Mhm.
go fast. I share with this individual that makes sense when your revenue and your profits, let's slow down. Revenue and profits says that you can do so. Remember, I'm in the business of helping you grow a business so you can hire people,
Mhm.
not have a business that brings in revenue and you only bring home $5,000 at the end of the year as a business owner. That
Mhm.
doesn't make sense,
Mhm.
right? Look
Mhm.
at your P&L list. It will tell you the story of where you are. So
Mhm.
I tell this, and this is what $1 million annual
Mhm.
revenue businesses to
Mhm.
$100,000 to
Mhm.
10,000. Trust me, you're no different at $5,000 a year than the
Mhm.
multi-million-dollar solopreneur or
Mhm.
just small business. Here's
Mhm.
why. Most business owners want to build a business to have autonomy or AKA freedom. I just
Mhm.
want to educate.
Mhm.
There's nothing wrong with that desire. I want you to do that. I will champion you. I will push you. I will come alongside you if that's
Mhm.
really your goal. But we have to understand this key thing. If the money doesn't tell you, or the success in the business doesn't say that you can afford, just because you can pay doesn't mean you can afford,
Mhm.
because you can pay it out. And now you freed up yourself from that task. But what if that person doesn't convert or bring in the revenue that you were doing instead
Mhm.
of paying them? And I hope
It's
this makes
costing you money. Yeah.
it's you're giving away money so you can
Mhm.
go do something else. No, 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 no.
Mhm.
No, sis, bro, listen. You're watching this video. I need you to really have the understanding as a small business owner that it's probably going to take you 3 to 5 years before you can start relinquishing tasks and still stay profitable. Hear me clearly. Being in business to say I drove $1 million in revenue, but you spent $900,000 to get that million. That's not it.
Mhm.
That's not it. To
Mhm.
just to say that I'm on the beach and I got 3 employees doing this.
Mhm.
Listen, please take your wife and kid on to the beach,
Mhm.
but not at the expense of the business not generating profit to
Right.
pay you to
Right.
be on the beach. Does that make sense?
Well, no, this ad program that you run, generates more revenue for a more sustainable business. You
Yes.
have to have an
Yes.
ongoing sustainable business to hire more people into your business.
Yes.
The
Yes.
one thing leads to the other. And so
Yes.
to have someone who understands the mechanics of business, not just the mechanics of selling pretty designs, and we understand Facebook and Instagram marketing or something. Lots of people can do that. I had the experience years ago when I was in a consulting space, and the CEO of the company wanted to copy the Got Milk campaign that was all over and I said, we sell Oracle Consulting. We don't sell milk. We don't sell milk, but it's so effective and it's everywhere. I think we should just knock off that game. Got Consulting doesn't have the same feel. This does not translate. One and one is not coming up with two. And so people can be inspired or they really love
Yeah.
something that they see and it just straight up may not be a fit for what they're trying to do with their audience, with what they're offering. And you
Yeah.
have that kind of sense to say, now let's just do a reality check. This is your audience. This is your budget. This is what the ROAS is, or return on
Yes.
advertising spend. And
Mhm.
so let's just come back to reality and grow the numbers we can in the way that makes them grow. So,
Yes.
having an advocate like you in their corner would make them a much more powerful business owner.
Yes. And I think what's really important to add to that is when you go to an agency,
Mhm,
at minimum, you're spending $5,000 per month, regardless of results.
mhm,
9 times out of 10, and I really mean that, and it's not just a figure of speech. Not all agencies care about your business.
mhm.
They care, can you pay the invoice?
Sure, they care about their business. Yeah.
That's it.
Mhm,
So you're going to spend, let's say, 5 grand a month,
mhm,
15 grand at the end of the day,
mhm,
plus ad spend, plus if they're going to do the creative for you. So
mhm,
you may be 12 to $25,000 per month. Let's just do the math here. And they don't care about your business. They listen, I've worked with agencies like that, and I never ever heard the account manager, the head of account management,
mhm,
the CEO, or the COO get on a call with an entrepreneur, with a small business owner, and talk to them about how their advertising affects the overall business growth and development. You're not, I'm sorry, ma'am. I'm sorry. So I just want to be honest with you. This is not a pitch for my services.
mhm,
I care about your business. I'm more of a consultant or a
mhm.
business developer than I am an advertiser. I just love
Sure.
advertising because, again,
Advertising is the brush you paint with.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's it. And
that's what
it
you
brings
do.
it's the report card, right? It's the
Mhm,
it's the chasing of the number every month. I love that. That gets me going. That wakes me
mhm,
up.
mhm,
But at the end of the day, you spend that type of money, you would think someone would tell you, like, hey, your ads are performing great, they look great, you're selling, but your
mhm,
business is just afloat.
mhm.
And 90% of small businesses are in that segment. They're just floating.
Yeah.
They're just floating. And I want to see who's going to be the next Nike,
Mhm,
who's going to be the next Amazon,
mhm,
who's going to be the next whatever. How can I come alongside and say, hey, even at $5,000 a month ad spend, $3,000 a month ad spend,
mhm,
let's start moving you in the direction to
mhm,
projecting you to be there if
mhm,
things continue to move in the right direction. And you know what? Once you get to 100K, you may go get somebody else. But I can say, man, I worked with X, Y, and Z, and look what they're doing. Look how happy their employees are. Look how happy the CEO is because he has the mindset to know
mhm,
that, man, somebody in the beginning
mhm,
cared enough about my business to
mhm,
help me not only with advertising, but
mhm,
how to have the right perspective to be profitable
mhm.
more than just driving revenue.
To be empowered, to be educated gives so much peace of mind as a business owner. I know I'm
Yes.
on the right track, and I looked at my report card, and Lev says we're doing fine. I believe in.
Mhm. Yes.
We did this spend, we got this result. We did this spend, we got this result. And I know sometimes the result is 3 times, marketing spend
Mhm.
or ad spend.
Mhm.
Sometimes
Mhm.
it's 10 times.
Mhm.
The wind changes. We have sunny days and rainy days, life
Yes.
goes on. But on a trend line, you need to know that that money's not being set on fire with nobody paying attention.
Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on. Come
Mm-hmm.
on. Or an agency who, again, I work there. I'm
Mm-hmm.
not saying this.
Mm-hmm.
I've worked for those places and I didn't last long because I just think I was a person of integrity who cared.
Mm-hmm.
And not saying that they didn't care. Let me just be very, very clear. They care about what they care about. But
Right.
I've always been the outlier. Like, and I want to know this business owner, how does this affect your family? Are you able to put a steak on the plate
That's
at the end
right.
of the month? And I help you
Is the
to at
mom
least,
tired when she comes home at the end of the day because it's a
yes,
struggle? Let's make the
come
struggle
on.
stop. Yeah. Well,
Let's work on it. So again, I don't want to paint this broad brush that agencies don't care, but
mhm.
there's not a lot of them that do, and the majority of them, their business is that bottom line. Did you pay your invoice?
Well, I also
Okay,
think
you're not.
in the agency model, you're selling how many clicks? You're selling how many likes, you're selling how many views, how many impressions. Those are the
Sure.
stats you're selling. And they think that's their side of the line. The other
Hmm.
side of the line is, well, but did it generate revenue for your business? They think that's
Hmm.
your business owner's part to make.
Yes.
But you understand a lot of business owners can't make the connection. They just can't say, well, they say I'm doing well, but it's not bringing me customers or getting
Yes.
items off the shelf. And so you make that connection. Tell people how to get a hold of you, Lev.
The best way right now is LinkedIn.
Oh,
Right now,
perfect.
I'm restructuring, and my LinkedIn is linkedin.com/Levellyn Hunter, and that's Levellyn Hunter, all one word. You
Great.
can find me there, and it's so important. And I really want to make sure I press this moment here before we move on to that because it's a passion of mine. I'm sorry, so sorry, I'm so sorry. Um, you're going to hear if you start looking for help with your advertising.
Mhm.
I want to really kind of take you behind the veil of language
Mhm.
because in marketing, it's all about compelling language.
Mhm.
So they're going to tell you 4x
Mhm.
ROAS. I'm going to tell you the same thing, and I'm going to tell you why we say that. They're
Mhm.
going to say terms like scaling your business
Mhm.
or growing your revenue.
Mhm.
Those are all great.
Mhm.
Here's the truth of it. When they say ROAS, that means you have a structured approach to your advertising. If you have a structured approach, you should hit at least a 4x ROAS.
Mhm.
At $50 product or AOV, if you're a business owner, you know these numbers.
Mhm.
$50 AOV, if it's structured, you'll hit a 4x.
Mhm.
Scaling, meaning you have had everything has to go right before scaling your business. These advertisers are saying scale because you want to scale, you want to grow exponentially, oh man. But here's the thing, they know that you may not have everything in place. So they're going to spend 90 days to 6 months getting everything in place for you to scale.
Mhm.
So I just want to just kind of decode this information. And then revenue. Always when you see revenue, how much money did it take for me to grow the revenue?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I just want to give the top three things you're going to see from advertisers, agencies, people like myself.
Mhm.
What does that mean? So you can ask yourself as a business owner,
Mhm.
if this person's telling me they're going to help me scale my business, do I have a system that's in place that's producing predictable income or predictable revenue or predictable profits?
Mhm.
If not, you cannot scale.
Mhm.
So they're going to work on getting you predictable before they get you scaling.
Very
That's the
good.
number one. So I just want to
Yeah.
say that before we get into because I want people to hear marketing messages and know what's actually being communicated. And
Mhm.
some people can argue what I'm saying. That's fine,
Mhm.
right? I'm not. This is not a one size fits all, but this is the majority of what's being put out in the market. So I just
Okay.
want to stop there and
No,
because
no,
I can
no. I
go.
really appreciate this, that the time is a part of the equation. Time is a
Mhm.
part of the math equation. I remember talking with an ad person at Twitter, and he
Mhm.
said, we have to run this for at least 30 days before the algorithm knows what you're talking about. It's
Yes.
30 days before the algorithm even understands where to deliver your message to. So
Yes.
you can't get this in 5 days or 11
Yes.
days. 90 days is even better to have the
Yes.
algorithm know the audience you want this delivered to, where they responded back. And so, yes, you're offering that education so that your business owner that's doing this ad spend is empowered and
Mhm.
understands what's happening in their business. And it's really exciting to get straight talk from a
Yes.
marketer that offers that. It makes the learning curve a little easier and shorter when you get straight talk instead of, but it's so pretty and we got a lot of clicks.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, but nothing moved off the shelf or I didn't get any new clients. So,
Yeah.
and if they look at you like that's a you problem, you're working with the wrong marketer.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
well, it's been
Whew.
delightful to get to know you and congratulations on 1 year anniversary.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you so much.
very, very exciting. And thanks for joining here and we'll see everyone next time.